Hello, boys and girls. Oh, fabulous fifth graders. I miss you. I hope you're doing well, and I think about you all the time. And we were so rudely interrupted by this global pandemic. And here we are in our remote learning. And so I thought perhaps we could bring back something that was familiar and that could possibly give us some comfort during this uncertain time. And Augie is someone we know very well. And so we are in the middle of the Julian chapter, and I thought perhaps we could finish it. And so where I'm going to pick up on is, let's see, page 68 is where I'm going to begin reading, because even though we stopped at about page 72, good readers, after having put a book away for a while, always do something to help improve their comprehension once they pick that book back up. And remember what good readers do when they open that book back up? They reread. That's right. I knew you would know that. So on page 68, we go back to where we know Julian has finished the email from Mr. Brown, and he's talking with Grandmere. And remember, they're in Paris. It's summer, and he's left Beecher Prep, and it's, well, you know the drama. So page 68, about 3/4 of the way down. First person point of view, Julian's. I don't know why, but I was so happy to get that email from Mr. Brown. I knew he would be understanding. I was so tired of everyone thinking I was this demon child. You know, it was obvious that Mr. Brown knew I wasn't. I reread his email like 10 times. I was smiling from ear to ear. So, Grandmere asked me. She had just woken up and was having her breakfast, a croissant and café au lait, delivered from downstairs. I haven't seen you this happy all summer long. What is it that you're reading, mon cher? Oh, I got an email from one of my teachers, I answered. Mr. Brown. From your old school? She asked. I thought they were all bad, those teachers. I thought it was good riddance to all of them. Grandmere had a thick French accent that was hard to understand sometimes, which you boys and girls know I cannot replicate, although I try. What? Good riddance, she repeated. Never mind, I thought the teachers were all stupid. The way she pronounced stupid was funny, like stupid. Not at all, not Mr. Brown, I answered. So what did he write to make you so happy? Oh, nothing much, I said. It's just, I thought everyone hated me. But now I know Mr. Brown doesn't. Grandmere looked at me. Why would everyone hate you, Julian? She asked. You're such a good boy. I don't know, I answered. Read me the email, she said. No, Grandmere. Read, she commanded, pointing her finger at the screen. So I read Mr. Brown's letter aloud to her. Now, Grandmere knew a little bit about what had happened to Beecher Prep, but I don't think she knew the whole story. I mean, I think Mom and Dad told her the version of the story they told everyone else, with maybe a few more details. Grandmere knew there were a couple of kids who had made my life miserable, for instance, but she didn't know the specifics. So she knew I'd gotten punched in the mouth. She didn't know why. If anything, Grandmere probably assumed I'd gotten bullied, and that's why I was leaving the school. So there were parts of Mr. Brown's email that she didn't understand. What does he mean? She said, squinting as she tried to read off my screen. Augie's physical appearance. Qu'est-ce que c'est? I think that's how you pronounce that. One of the kids that I didn't like, Augie, he had this awful facial deformity. I answered. It was really bad. He looked like a gargoyle. Julian, she said. That's not very nice. Sorry. And this boy, he was not sympathique? She asked innocently. He was not nice to you? He was a bully? I thought about that. No, he wasn't a bully. So why did you not like him? I shrugged. I don't know. He just got on my nerves. What do you mean you don't know? She answered quickly. Your parents told me you were leaving school because of some bullies. No? You got punched in the face. No? Well, yeah, I got punched in the face, but not by the deformed kid. By his friend. Ah, so his friend was the bully. No, not exactly, I said. I can't say they were bullies, Grandmere. I mean, it wasn't like that. We just didn't get along, that's all. We hated each other. It's kind of hard to explain. You kind of had to be there. Here, let me show you what he looked like. Then maybe you'll understand a little bit better. I mean, not to sound mean, but it was really hard having to look at him every day. He gave me nightmares. I logged onto Facebook and found our class picture and zoomed in on Augie's face so she could see. She put her glasses on and looked at it and spent a long time studying his face on the computer screen. I thought she would react the way Mom had reacted when she saw that first picture of Augie. But she didn't. She just nodded to herself. And then she closed the laptop. Pretty bad, huh? I said to her. She looked at me. Julian, she said, I think maybe your teacher is right. I think you were afraid of this boy. What? No way, I answered. I'm not afraid of Augie. I mean, I didn't like him. In fact, I kind of hated him, but not because I was afraid of him. Sometimes we hate the things we're afraid of, she said. I made a face like she was talking crazy. She took my hand. I know what it is like to be afraid, Julian, she said, holding her finger up to my face. There was a boy that I was afraid of when I was a little girl. Let me guess, I answered, sounding bored. I bet he looked like Augie. Grandma shook her head. No, his face was fine. So why were you so afraid of him? I asked. I tried to make my voice sound as disinterested as possible, but Grandma ignored my bad attitude. She just sat back in her chair, her head slightly tilted, and I could tell by looking into her eyes that she had gone somewhere far away. And that's the first section. More to come.